Hi, friends. I'm Nancy Fox.
And I'm Elaine Doran. Welcome to Deep Diving Divas. Nancy, you're making me laugh.
I know we're laughing. Sorry, everybody. It's a little bit of an inside joke, but we're going to share it with you. So we've been filming now for a while. We're in our studio. And Elaine, at least me, I always struggle. Where do I look? I want to engage with all of you. But am I looking at you? Am I looking at Elaine? I mean,
Nancy, is this me? Am I looking at you? Am I looking at you? Am I looking at you? Am I looking at you?
So if you want to write us and tell me, am I looking appropriately or do I need to move my eyes somewhere else? And on that note, so we usually have guests, and today we have two very special guests. It's me and Elaine.
Hey, surprise. I didn't know that. It's just us.
Again, one of the reasons why I thought that would be fun, first of all, we thought it would be really fun if you got to know us a little bit more. You know, maybe we'll go deep into our deep, dark secrets and also be playful. But also, we always say at the end of the show, please send us an email if you have any questions. So we're going into our mailbag and we're digging in deep, rolling up our sleeves to answer your questions.
I know. It's been fun to go through some of these and we save them for today. So as Nancy said, please don't turn off, don't close your computer.
Did we already turn off? I don't want to listen to this show.
I know.
We hope you stay tuned.
Yeah.
Hey there, friends. It's Nancy and Elaine. They're the Deep Diving Divas. It's quite a name. They're diving deep into the things that matter most, from friendships to family and so much more. Join them each week for a splash of fun.
Nancy, we did this again. Do you know, I am wearing blue. You are wearing blue. We do this without even checking with each other. It's very bizarre. This happens a lot.
We're on the same vibe. I don't know if it's happened to anybody else out there, but I have a dear friend, my friend Shelly. We were besties growing up. We're still besties. And the reality is we would show up every day in middle school or junior high in our day at the bus wearing the same outfits. Like we were always on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
So,
well, we used to get on the phone the night before and discuss, which shoes and what color and the whole thing. So ours was planned, but
you planned it?
It's a great. Okay, Nancy, you get going. Where's that mailbag?
Okay, Elaine, the first question that's come up, it's come up a few times.
Yes.
Are we married? Well,
to each other? Oh, to each other?
No. Are you married?
Yes, I'm married to my wonderful husband, Richard. It's going to be 43 years. I can't believe it. Now, this is a little bit of a secret, except everybody knows, but I was married when I was very young at 20 until I was 24. So somewhere down the line, I'll share you some of the things that I learned from that. So, but yes, I was, but now I am. And it's wonderful. Nancy, what about you?
Well, by the way, I want to add to that. So interesting that, you know what, all these years until recently, I guess I knew you were married before, but it was so brief. I really didn't know the backstory. So I want to hear it one day.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. If you watched.
If I have a glass of wine, I will tell you the real backstory, but just talking to you part of the story. But Nancy, what is it?
Tell? Yeah, I'm married. If anybody saw my husband, he's been on a couple episodes, Alan Fox. I married the love of my life. I shared it on one of the episodes. I was 19 when we met. He was 35. He was married before for 13 years. And for us, they said it wouldn't last. But guess what? We just celebrated 44 years and we've been together 50 years.
It's amazing, Nancy. I'm not kidding. We've got so many good stories to tell about that. Okay, wait. So here is another question. Let me see. And I'm turning the page because, okay, but what about grandkids, kids?
So I do. Alan and I have two sons. Our oldest is 40 and our youngest is 35. They're both married and we love, love, love our daughter-in-laws. And with them, our oldest has one son, 5 years old, and our younger son has two, a little boy who's 3 and a girl. Our family finally got the girl and she's 1.
Oh, that is so darling, Nancy. Well, Richard has a son And so Richard's son, of course, is my stepson, who I love dearly, Kyle. But I wish there was another word for not, stepson, stepmother, step this, step that, step all over. I guess I don't know what it is, because I think that there's something more to it. So, I don't know. You said you had an idea. Maybe there was another.
I do. So Elaine, so I maybe I've never given you my little soapbox on this, but I think if look you've known Kyle since he was young. If you put in the time and the love and, helping to raise this young man, the reality is you are a parent. You're not a step parent. You're a co-parent or a parent. I think that's the definition. You don't have to birth the child, but if you're there for them through thick and thin, the good, the bad, the ugly, throughout the years, in my book, you're a parent.
Ah, that's a beautiful thing to say. Well, co-parent might be a good word, but it should be a nice way to refer to it. There's just something so kind of hard about it. But whatever it is, Kyle is.
Who's Carol? That was my husband's first wife. Her name
was it? Oh, that is a riot. I didn't know that.
And Elaine, so share with us, do you have grandkids?
No, we don't have grandkids, but I have a ton of nieces and nephews, and they let me pretend. No, they don't have to pretend. I'm their Aunt Lainey. So,
but Elaine, again, I can add to that one too. In a way, you have a lot of kids and grandkids because you've been like a mother to your nieces and nephew and to their kids. So I've met several of them and they're amazing. But the reality for that is you're a parent, you're a grandparent, but you forgot you're also a parent or a mama to Dixon. So share with us about Dixon.
But more important, well, that is important, but I'm an aunt. So I guess really being an aunt is a great, wonderful thing. When my little nieces and nephews were little and I would be with them for hours, sometimes every day after when I was teaching school, and then I leave and I go, bye-bye. Yeah, I'd leave standing in the doorway crying, like, come back, bye-bye. Right. Yes. And we have a baby puppy, Mr. Willie Elvis Dixon. And he is a baby. He is so cute.
Wait a minute. I didn't know I know him as Dixon. I didn't know he was Willie Elvis Dixon. To explain?
Very important. If you saw, he has a little teeny, like a little kind of spit curl on his head, kind of like what Elvis had when he used to like grease his hair up and make this little curl on his head. That's what Dixon has. So he's Willie Elvis Dixon, but he's named after a famous blues musician who was Willie Dixon. So Dixon is a very talented guy, a musician and a singer.
Yeah, I love it. Elaine, the other thing is people are asking, and I thought sometimes we make it clear, but where do we live? Are we in the same studio? Clearly we're not. So where do you live?
We live in Studio City, and it's appropriately called that because we live right near Universal Studios and a lot of the other studios here that are close to Hollywood. And we've lived here for 42 years in this same wonderful house. And I love it. I call our home Lady Laurel because we live on a street that has Laurel in it. And so it's our Lady Laurel. She's almost 100 years old, like me, and she's beautiful.
Your house is incredible because
she's been renovated, restored, and facelifts, but not moi.
I was born and raised in LA and grew up in LA and got married in LA and had my kids in LA. We moved to San Luis Obispo 27 years ago.
I can't believe that, Nancy.
And we feel like we have the best of both worlds because I'm in LA all the time. My family's still there. My mom, my precious mom, who you've all seen on the show. So I'm in LA once or twice a month. But when I got to park and one of my grandsons is in, and sons and daughter-in-laws are in LA. So it's a must that we go. But when we park our car north, we're equally very, very happy. Oh, we love it. We live in San Luis Obispo and it's paradise.
I think all of you out there would not believe. Honestly, you could be an Uber driver back and forth between the two, or a bus driver. Maybe you could get a job as a bus driver because you are driving back and forth on Highway 101, or I don't think you take the
101.
And when you first started, you told me you used to stop. I said, "How do you do this? I fall asleep when I make that long drive." And you said, "Well, before I get on the road, I stop at a movie theater, and you go in and get popcorn. Like even popcorn, I don't know." Told that to you. I didn't think you'd get in the door without buying a ticket. And you would buy popcorn, and then you said you'd eat the popcorn all the way down till you got to LA.
Yeah, those were in the early days. So that's what I used to drive at night. So even though we live in San Luis Obispo, still used to do our cookies, our packaged cookies, and they were produced at a co-packer in LA. So if I put in a full day there, driving home in the dark, I needed to stay awake. So there's something really psychologically satisfying, and you don't fall asleep when you're munching and crunching.
What do you eat now when you come down?
Well, we do other things. It's like, hey, 27 years later, we tend to stop. We'll stop in Santa Barbara. A lot of times we go to our favorite burger joint called The Habit, and we'll get a burger. And so it's not so much that we eat in the car anymore, munching. If my husband and I are together.
But you know what? The minute since I was a little girl, honestly, when we drove across country from Iowa, because I was born in Iowa with my two sisters, there were three of us, and my aunt and my parents. We were like the Beverly Hillbillies coming across in a car. And I was only a year and a half, but I was licking suckers. I mean, my father was a pediatrician and he had all these suckers in the car. I licked each one every time, just across country licking. So now, as soon as we go on a trip, I have got to have food packed right in front of me on the floor in my cooler. And the minute we get in the car, I am so hungry. I start. Okay, so now I'm going to want to talk about something that's just a little bit more we're doing all of these things with the show and we're having such a great time and it's been an amazing experience. What has this done for you so far? Being not with me right now, but of all the things we've learned on the podcast or the YouTube, what do you really feel like for right now, for your mind and your body, has Deep Diving Divas done?
It is added a huge new chapter in my life, a new dimension in my life. It's been very reflective. It's been a learning curve. And what I love at this stage of our lives is how many of you out there, we talk about it throughout the shows, are into learning new things. Finding your creativity, learning a new, whether you want to learn to sing or write, like you've talked about your writing class. But for me, I love the technical. And so I am having a blast working with our editors to edit the shows. I give them a long laundry list of, at this, 3 minutes, do this and that and that and that. But I find it a challenge and I'm energized by it. What about you?
Well, thanks to you on so many levels, because along with watching what you've done, you've taught me so much. But what I'm so happy about, and I didn't think it was really possible to, like you said, to learn something that I didn't think I could ever learn. And that I had told myself, I'll never be able to understand that. And that's really dealing with social media and really understanding how it works, looking at algorithms, studying what is behind all of this. And some of the technical things that I always thought were totally beyond and that I really wasn't interested in. I always had people in my office or people doing those things for me, but it feels so good to do it on my own. So I'm proud of that. And I feel like when we do these things, I think our brain, I sometimes physically get the sense that our brain, like a muscle, and which it is just, it's exercising itself. It's moving and it's growing and it's not stagnant and it feels so good.
Yeah, it's because the old saying, use it or lose it. But it's true. If, so whether, for me, being technical with Skinny Kitchen, I started that 15 years ago and I had to learn the technical parts of it. And so I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be sort of a techie, but now I'm kind of the techie for you and I, for my mom, for my husband, for people in our age group or older, because I'm not afraid of learning new things on the computer.
It is so good. I know when we started this, I got a brand new computer. I got a new Apple computer. I have all this equipment that I didn't have before. Just honestly, at the time, turning it off and on was like a big challenge. This is ridiculous.
But look how you've come, baby. As I say, you've come a long way, baby. Elaine, I know you had wonderful parents. I wish I got to know them. But what would you say was their best advice, whether from your mom, your dad, or from both, that's carried through your life?
It's the two of them were so similar in their personalities. Now that I look back, it's hard to believe because usually mates, one is a yin and a yang.
Right.
But both of them had the same message because they were very gentle, kind people. And they used to always say, don't say anything unless you are willing, and why can't I get this straight?
Wait a minute.
Wow.
What do you, I didn't follow you. Go ahead.
Okay. Don't say anything you'll be sorry for, is basically what they would say.
Oh.
Because my father felt that, and my mother too, you can never take those words back, and you'll be so sorry. So it was, we never wanted to deal with conflict or getting angry at people. We always really tried to be nice because we didn't want to say anything that would hurt them. And that was and still is an attribute that I think has been very good. But what it also did was make us that we didn't learn how to communicate and say what it was that we needed or what was wrong, because we felt that we would hurt them. So, it was an interesting thing. And I'm finally learning. And Nancy, you helped a lot.
Yeah. So it's a blessing and a curse, because the reality is I don't get angry. Like if when I have to talk to somebody, use my words kind of thing, I don't confront, I don't yell at people. That's not my MO. But there's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself. And remember, I've shared this with you, Elaine, but my motto that comes into fruition more and more, I try to be nice to people. I try to do the right thing, but I always feel like saying, don't mistake my niceness for weakness.
Whoa.
Think about that.
Totally. Because I know that some people judge people by their appearance. And Nancy, for you, in some ways, it's probably been, somewhat of a challenge, because you have this innocent looking face. You look like a little doll, you look like a little girl, and the laugh and the smile in your eyes. And people probably think this lady is easy. You could win her over with anything, but that is not the case.
It's not the case. And I've been like that since my 20s. The reality is, like you, I'm a really easygoing person. I don't really care. Like, want to go here to eat, want to go there to eat. Do you want to do this, do that? I don't land hard, because I really honestly don't care. If I'm going to get together with you, with a friend, with my husband and I are going out, kids, I just want to be with the people. I don't really care where we go, what we do.
Yeah.
But if it's something really serious or really important to me, boy, I will speak up.
Yeah.
But I always think it's the deliverance. It's how you deliver your message. If you say, you dear, you are where, that then people shut off.
And then, you hold it in so long and it comes out the wrong way, or if it's one particular person that's been bugging you, you've never told them, and all of a sudden they say something that's not really that offensive, but to you, it's like, I've had it, I've been keeping this aside for the last 5 years, and then you give them, whatever. So that's the thing you have to be careful too. So basically, everybody out there, watch out for the two of us. Look out, Nancy and Elaine.
Right, exactly. So, Elaine, let me share a couple little nuggets that I've got from my parents. My dad's been gone 20 years, and he was so magical, and he was a brilliant businessman. And I'd like to say I learned a lot of my business skills and just the way he was so people oriented, but he got his message across and he got what he wanted done. And, with kindness though. But he always would say to me, don't speak for other people. And let me explain that. How many I would I'd say, oh, Dad, I'm going to try to get this, land this account or, get this customer or whatever. But, they probably don't want to buy my cookies, or they don't really want to give out our gifts or whatever. Because don't speak for other people unless you ask.
Yes.
Maybe they want to do it. So if you come with that, again, you don't force someone, but what's wrong with asking? The worst they can say is no.
Right. And then, so I guess you have to be courageous and strong and confident to be able to ask, because I think that's a big part of it. And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know where you buy it. If you can grab it, you can, because it's just born with it sometimes. But I think if you're confident, you're willing to take that no answer.
Well, confident, but also let me add another thing about confidence. Confidence, yes, but also if you don't make it personal. Look, if I'm going to approach someone that I don't even know, how could I be crushed or hurt if they shut me down? I don't even know this person. It's not personal. They probably just don't want my goods. They don't want what I'm selling, right?
But I know what you're saying, but your goods are a reflection of you. Do you know, it's kind of like with my clients, I always felt everything I did was I really enjoyed what I did and it always was good and clients liked it. But if they, turned down some kind of, brochure, printed material or a press release or an idea or a concept, I took that personally because I created it. So it becomes then a reflection of you as opposed to AI now. Now we can just blame it on AI.
Right.
But it is hard to separate yourself, especially when you're a creative person, that it reflects on you.
But anyways, that message with my dad has really carried me through life, and it's not just business, it's personal also.
Yes.
Also, my mom, this is wild because my parents were married till my dad passed, maybe 56 years. Oh, well, let's see. Is your baby there?
Come up here.
Show everybody Dixon and tell us his full name again once you grab him.
Let's see, Dixon. Will you let me get you up? Now he's afraid.
Okay.
Now he's afraid. He's right there. Let's see. There he is on.
Oh, look good. Hi, Dixon.
Hi. Oh, look at his ears.
Sweet.
Tell him my full name is Willie Elvis Dixon because you have that little teeny curl on the top of your forehead.
I love that. Elaine, what's interesting? So but what was really wild with my mom's message to my sister, and I have a twin brother, the message wasn't for him. My mother always said to my sister and I,
yes,
you're going to go to college, you're going to get a career, and you're going to earn your own money because you never want to depend on a man. You got to be able to carry your weight yourself. Yes. Now, if you find the love of your life and it all works out and maybe he's the earner, that's all great, but get the goods. And
so your mother said that.
Oh, my mom, that was her message to my sister and I.
Right.
So it never occurred to me that I would do anything different.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, there was no discussion of that, but our parents made sure that we were independent. We worked for what we got, and it was a good feeling.
How old were you when you had your first job, and what was your first job?
They never said we had to work. My two older sisters were very smart. They didn't work until they really had to go to work after college, became a teacher and a court reporter. But when I was graduating high school, I thought, I'm going off to college and my parents are getting me all these clothes. My mother called it a trousseau at the time, and completely from everything we got brand new. And I thought I should get a job. And so I went to this wonderful department store in Beverly Hills, Robinson's department store in the summer, and got a job. And all my friends thought I was crazy. It's like, why are you doing this? And when I went to college, everybody else was fooling around, and when they had free time, I thought, I should really do something with a little bit of my free time. And I went and got a job, in a darling little boutique up in, this was in Colorado in Boulder, a couple days a week, because I thought, I should have a job. And I was like that. And I've been like that. I have worked like that since I've been
life.
old.
Elaine, I started when I was a little kid. I started with a preschool. I was probably 7 years old, and I'd have the little neighbors come and drop off their kids. The parents loved it. My mom would be home and I'd give them nutrition and hold a classroom. And then I always babysat. And I had my first, go ahead, what?
Did you get paid?
Yeah. I think I charged 10 cents a kid. I got my first job at just about 16. I worked in clothing. Do you remember Country Club Fashions? It was in Fashion Square, and they were the first to carry gorgeous European fashions. And I got 40% off. And so my whole paycheck went to my clothes, but I always worked, always.
I know. I started out working in the linen department at Robinson's. Was like, when you're 16, what do you know about linens? But I developed this thing today that is my love. Towels and sheets. I care so much about them, and learning so much about them at the time. So it was it's not like I was in one of the clothing departments. It was like linens, and there were all older women in there. I mean, older women that were working there.
And now probably young to us, right?
Yeah. Nancy, that was another wonderful learning experience. We talked about that in some of our conversations because we tried something new. What do you think?
It was really fun. I hope everybody enjoyed. We did a little bit of a vignette. We put together a lot of different things, speaking what's on our mind and maybe sharing some little tidbits in the mundane to maybe heavier. So thank you all for joining us.
Let me just add, and if you want to, please continue to email us. Maybe you have some comments, some input. Maybe you could identify with some of the things you were saying. So email us again.
We might read your comment, the
Yes.
Deep Diving Divas at gmail.com. And don't forget, we're on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook. Watch us if you're here on YouTube, but also I think you'll really love listening to our podcasts. And everywhere we're at Deep Diving Divas. Ready? Until next time.
Bye-bye. Great to see you all.
Thank you, everybody.